Well, hello everybody, welcome back. You know what today is? Today is number 60, which means I did the 30 and 30, and I basically doubled it. I know I took a couple of days off there, but I did throw extra videos in there because the fish cam ones didn't count. So, wow, I didn't even think I'd be able to do 30 in a row. I've basically done 60 in a row. I guess now I'm wondering if I can do like 90 in a row, excluding Mondays, of course. So that's going to be interesting. I hope you aren't getting too bored with the kind of random nature of what's going on around here. In yesterday's video, I kind of asked everybody what they thought about the idea of me merging a couple of my other channels into the JT Berry channel, and it seemed like a rather overwhelming response of, yeah, go for it, for sure, go right ahead. It actually makes our lives easier, so fly at it. So I guess that's what I'm gonna do. Clean Valley Farms is going to continue its slow descent into madness, and I probably won't be posting much of anything else on that channel anymore. Those of you who are sub to it know that I haven't really been posting that much on it anyway, because it was things that, like I said yesterday, I think, were decidedly more homesteading or more permaculture or more dealing with this old house, which a lot of you seem perfectly cool with me putting on this channel, so cool. There is a lot of stuff that needs to be potentially transferred or whatever. I don't think I can do that because that just strikes me as huge copyright strikes from myself. We all know, watching Derek at Crazy Kimberlin Opinions, that even though it's his music in his video, he's getting a copyright strike on it because it's from a different video and a different channel, even though it's all still him. So I'm just not even going to go there. However, new videos on those topics will go here. The outdoor channel, I think I'm going to leave as its own thing, because gardening and guns don't necessarily mix. And while the outdoor channel isn't entirely, gun related, there is an awful lot of pellet guns, bows, crossbows, things of that nature that happen on that channel. So I'm just gonna leave that one as it is, like I said. So today in number 60 here, we're down in the dungeon because we're doing garden stuff, because I've got those fabric pots that I want to try out, and I kind of want to test a couple things. The 5-gallon pot doesn't strike me as something that would hold 5 gallons. I've used a lot of 5-gallon pails over the years, and it seems to me that it's kind of small. So what I'm going to do is, I've got this bucket over here with a dead aquarium heater in it, and it says on the side of it, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, exactly what the volume is at various points. So I'm going to try filling one of those with soil, and then I'm going to try filling one of these with that same volume of soil, and we'll find out for sure if this sucker really holds 5 gallons or not. Not that I necessarily doubt Root Pro or anything, it just, I don't know, maybe it's a trick, an illusion, but it doesn't necessarily seem like it's going to hold it to me. So I guess we'll get started with that. I guess really the first question we're going to answer is, do I even have 5 gallons of soil prepared? And is my bucket going to stay in place well enough to receive it? So I have no idea what the volume of this toad is. I guess I'll find out shortly though. Oh, missed a little bit there. Yeah, I don't think I've got 5 gallons prepped. But it does say 3 gallons on the side of this pail as well. So if that's closer to what I've actually got, then we'll fill up one of the 3-gallon pots, because that's kind of one of my plans for today anyway. It was suggested that I transplant the Nepalese Bell into one of these fabric pots because it's such a cool looking pepper. And I would agree, it's a very interesting shape to the pot on that. This is not 5 gallons worth of soil. 15 liters, so just under 4 gallons worth of soil. Decisions. So just for the record, I did pull off one of the 5-gallon tags. That is what I'm going to try and fill. I'm looking at these two things side by side here, and I don't think it's 5 gallons, but anywho, move this over a little bit and re-pour. So we've got about 4 gallons of prepared soil apparently. Shake that out. Now I find it interesting that these particular fabric pots have no handles to move them around. I noticed a lot of the ones on Amazon and a lot of the ones I've seen on YouTube do have handles. So I guess my first suggestion to Root Pro would probably be to put handles on these puppies. So here we have the roughly 4 gallons of soil that I had prepared. And there is still space left in here. So I don't know. I guess technically it probably is a 5-gallon planter. It just really didn't look like it. Now I get to dump this back into my tote because I'm actually going to plant it into one of the 3-gallon containers. And I'm going to guess, looking at the tote with that volume in it, this probably holds about 8 gallons worth of soil when it's all prepped and ready. So that's cool, but not going to fill a lot of these bags at once. But at least on the upside, I know I have enough soil to fill one of the 3-gallon planters. So that will be good. Need to find the Nepalese Bell off that table. And then as we look at this pepper, there is of course the question of, can we even save this thing? It would be a shame to lose it, but it might already be too late. So I'll take my sticky traps out. These things have caught a ridiculous number of little black flying critters and a fair amount of soil, but you know, I feel they're helping. I'm not sure they're helping enough to go out and spend another like 12 bucks or whatever on another pack, but I probably will anyway in the long run. Once we get this thing out into its roots, I think I should probably wash it off in the fish tank. Let the fishies have some snack. I just fed them, but I'm sure they'll still go for these aphids. And this mint has gotten just massive in there. I'm not entirely sure I'm going to replant that into the 3-gallon container. But, where'd my little scoop go? Start trying to clear some of this out and see what we're dealing with here. Mix that in. It's not like this is bad soil. It's just not the greatest planter, I think, for pepper existence. Oh no. Well, here we go. Pulling on the plant, got some decent lift out of that. At least this one isn't thoroughly flooded, so that's promising. But I wouldn't say that it's looking too amazing by any means. And I don't know if those are mint roots that went all the way down to the base of this thing or Nepalese Bell roots. And it looks like those were mint roots because that's what I've got off the Nepalese Bell here. So, hopefully this is worth the effort. We shall see. This, I think I might just plant that right back in the ceramic thing. You know, it seems to be doing fine. It's mint. It doesn't really care. So I'll just center that up. Abuse it a little bit. The mint doesn't mind that kind of stuff. And I'll probably fill this with stuff from my little compost tote. Or I should have a gallon or so left in the soil tote when it's all said and done. Tuck that over there. Grab my 3-gallon fabric planter. Oh, forgot a step. Fish tank. And as ridiculous as this process seems, and I know I'm dumping an awful lot of soil in here, but that'll come out with the netting. Awful lot of little white spots floating around on that water with the soil though. Those aren't perlite. So there we go. Looks a little cleaner. And then I guess I just use this like I would any other planter. Fill it on up. Scoop's a little small for filling up 3 gallons of space, but whatever. I've got a little time today, I don't mind. Don't bother me at all. Now I do have plenty more perlite, so I'm not going to be out of pre-mixed potting. Well, I am going to be out of pre-mixed potting soil, but I'm not going to be out of quality mixed soil. Just going to need to make some more is all. Speaking of some more, watched Alex from Alberta Pepper take down that crispy treat I sent him. And I gotta say, Alex, you took that like a champ, man. That was awesome. I was kind of hurting after the 2 of those I ate on the live stream, but he said he was fine in the morning, so more power to him. Right on. I think that low tolerance he was afraid he may have is a thing of the past. But he did some pretty extreme stuff to get ready for that first Rice Krispie. So, yeah, again, more power to him, right? So, here we go. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. I'm not entirely sure how you keep these things from just dumping all of their water through the sides. So, I'm gonna pat like a little circle around the inside there. I don't know how well that's showing up in the camera. Bit of a depression, and I'm going to water in there, and I'm going to hope that means it soaks down. I'm thinking for the 5-gallon buckets, I'm going to do like I did with that old rhubarb, and I'll cut a few slots into the side of a water bottle, or yeah, well, probably a water bottle, and not drill holes, but just cut some slices, and then I'll fill that, and it will slowly release into the container. At least that's what it did for the old rhubarb anyway, so that's what I'm hoping. And I guess that's pretty much that. I need to water it though, right? Of course, one thing I didn't think about with all this is where am I going to put a fabric pot down here? I guess it's going to have to go under this light beside me with these ones here, which makes sense because these are all the ones that I tried to overwinter anyway, so it kind of should be over here. But I don't want to put it straight on the ground. So as a hopefully better option, I also have a 3-gallon pail that I've flipped upside down. You might see the drainage holes in the bottom of that from previously using it as a planter. But that seems to work to support this. But the real question is, was it too late for that Nepalese Bell? I need to find the tag for that puppy. Water that in. But hopefully I have now done the best that I possibly can for that plant, and it will come back, hopefully. So for those of you who are new to the channel and may be unaware, the Nepalese Bell is not a standard bell pepper. It kind of goes above and beyond in that it actually looks like a bell, unlike a standard bell pepper. So yeah, hopefully this will come back to life and grow and be wonderful and fantastic and productive. But, I gotta say that I agree with a growing theme in the pepper lovers community, and in particular with Charles P, in that I am not bothering to bring outdoor peppers in again, ever. It's just not worth it. Watching them die is far too painful. Sorry about the light that was just over my head there. Let's see if we can find another angle. It's a little bit better. But yeah, watching the peppers die is far too painful. Sure, it was really cool when I was able to harvest some of the things, like the El Oro de Ecuador, for example, went nuts once I brought it inside, but then it's been on the slow decline ever since. So if that pepper, well, I mean, that pepper is coming back to life, so I look down at it since that pepper has actually managed to pull through my winter of abuse, I'm not putting it back outside. It would be great to see it go crazy and be super productive again, but I would much rather that it do that in the dungeon. So I may attempt cloning it yet again. I haven't checked on the sand dollar clones in a while. Maybe we'll do that a little bit later on. But I am not taking it back outside. I might take a couple of these others outside that I have other seeds for, but this year's El Oro de Ecuador seeds have not sprouted. Dave needs some seeds from that, and he's the one who sent them to me, so I will definitely, if I get fresh peppers, I still say, Dave, you get the first pod, man. Those seeds are all yours. I'm gonna eat the pepper, but those seeds are yours. Fear not. So yeah, a lot of the things that I have down here are going to stay inside, period. And everything else, of course, is going to go outside. So having all these fabric pots is great and everything, but I think I want to transplant into those, especially the 5-gallon ones, the things that are going to go outside, and then come winter time or come end of September, when basically winter is on its way and peppers are dying and tomatoes are going, no, I got another week, man, I'll be fine, and then they're dead the next morning. I am going to try and, you know, clean the pots out, recycle my soil, put it somewhere that it can get properly, I don't know, decomposed over the course of the winter, which composting doesn't happen here quite as nice and easy as it did in Penticton, that's for darn tootin', but if I can leave the soil outside, then the beneficial insects can work it over, and hopefully by the time I go around to planting with it again next year, it'll be safe for me to do that with. And as again, I think it was Charles who pointed out, with these fabric pots, unlike the massive plastic ones that I've got all around, not only are these ones guaranteed for 5 years, which you know, honestly I'll believe it when I see it, but you can wash them out, fold them flat, they take up no space at all, which is part of why I haven't built any cold frames yet, because they take up so much space when you're not actually using them. What am I going to do with these things for the rest of the year, right? Like, do I tear them apart and hope that I can reuse the plastic next year? Do I make them Russian nesting doll style and create a stack of progressively larger cold frames that are, again, taking up space being stored somewhere? So yeah, I haven't fully decided what I'm going to do about cold frames yet, but I saw yard today when I was outside, and I saw it in a couple of locations, so spring might actually be on its way, and I might make one just so I can get started on something, because I'm going crazy not having anything growing outside, right? So like, even if a little cold frame for like radishes or something, I don't know, I just want to grow something. I just want a garden. I think it's pretty obvious to most people who do watch the channel though that I am desperate to get gardening, and I would like to grow anything at all. Got so many little tiny starts here. This billy goat, not looking exceptional, but it hasn't died on me yet, so that's good. Trinidad Scorpion Red, at least that one looks like it's peppered leaves. Well, the pepper seed leaves anyway. We got, what is this one here? That is the Lightning Hab Mix. Over here, got a Scotch bonnet. All my Scotch bonnets this year are just the teeniest, tiniest little things, and I don't know if it's me or them. So I'm just gonna leave it and hope for the best, and we'll see where it goes. Oh, looking down in the 72 cell here, I think I can finally identify this thing popping up in the strawberries, and that is not a strawberry, that is cress. So out she goes. It's a shame. Those are some pretty old seeds though. Kind of should have started them sooner. Such is life. Need to go through here, pull out a bunch of the garden salsa peppers, and then really this has been my best go at sprouting things for the most part. I mean, no Black Beauty eggplant, but again, super old seeds. Like I said, no strawberries. Lots of the garden salsas popped up though. An insane number of Russian red and dino kale popped up. The green curled kale, not looking good. But such is life. So yeah, I think I need to clean some of that out. But for today's planting, I'm probably just going to go with little styrofoam cups, easy enough to label, and I want to get started on some of those new pepper varieties and those really funky looking cucumbers. Because seriously, these things look super cool. So yeah, gonna get started on that, I guess. Kind of sad as I keep going through so many of these cups and lifting off lids and not finding anything. But that is how she goes, and that is part of why I want to have the permanent pepper collection down here in the dungeon. I want to be able to just go, okay, well, I want to grow 16 ghost peppers this year. Cut them, clone them, root them, plant them, you know? Because starting seeds is just so unreliable for me. I wish I could say it wasn't, but it's a struggle for me every time. So I don't even know how well these seeds are going to do, but I'm going to plant them all the same. Got those Scotch brains, which I only just learned. This is a bad member of the PLC that I am. Apparently this is one of this year's contest peppers. Way too late for me to get involved in that. But these others, you know, the Scotch Bonnet Schneider Farms and the Scotch Brains 7-pot and the SB7J Yellow, I don't have to worry too much. I can just grow them for the sake of growing them. But yes, I think I'm just delaying planting them because I don't want to kill them. Alright, I need some soil, some water. Let's look around here. Bound to be some of all that around. So starting off here, we've got 4 very nice, healthy looking Scotch Brains seeds. I have labeled the cup that used to be the Devil's Heart seeds. And I'm going to put these in, but I'm going to try putting them in on their sides. Pepper seeds are ridiculously thin, and I don't recall who said it, but someone suggested that putting them on their sides will improve their germination rate. Now with everything over there, I just kind of flopped them onto a flat part, covered them up with a little bit of soil, and it doesn't really seem to be working that well. Alright, well that really didn't want to work for me, so I'll just go back to plopping them in there however they fall, and covering them up with a little bit of soil, watering it, and putting it in a dome. Stick it down there with the rest of them, and hopefully at least that will sprout soon. We'll have to just wait it out really, but I think I should probably transplant some of these other pepper starts shortly, but that's not what I'm doing today. Down here we've got, what is this? This is the Scotch Brains 7-pot pheno, so we'll plant some of these next. Now you'll notice on the ones I'm planting today, I've got the date on the bottom of those, because I really have lost track of when most of these things were planted. And I saw, as Rev was going through his double cups in a recent update, that he had put the dates on there, and that struck me as just being a bloody good idea. So I'm going to scoop that one and follow suit. What do we got next here? Next we have our Scotch Bonnet Schneider Farms. So that takes care of the 4 varieties of peppers that came to me yesterday. This one, this one, this one, and this one. I need to run upstairs so I can get the spelling of that cucumber variety. Alright, my printing is terrible, but A-C-H-O-C-H-A. Chocka cucumbers? I don't know, somebody want to give me phonetics? I am really looking forward to seeing these things grow, though. I hope they do well with my climate. Alright, so with that planted, that not only takes care of the seeds that arrived yesterday, pretty much wipes out my starting table space. So yeah, I've definitely got to get some of these things on the transplant. That chocolate bootla, I would really like to see it do much better. Another paper lantern habanero. I've got a few of those already, but can never really have too many habaneros. Can't see the label on that one. Ah, Marconi Red. A nice sweet pepper. It'd be really nice to see something come of that. We've got some of the hot lemon peppers back here from Burpee. Need to knock the seed casings off of those. But yeah, so I'll get around to transplanting those, I guess, on the sooner side of things. And more kale. Good heavens, I need to transplant more kale and more of those garden salsas. And down here we've got a few of the sand dollars that sprouted up. They're getting kind of shaded out by that lettuce at this point. So yeah, next time we take a look at things down here, this will probably be dealt with. And hopefully I'll have gotten around to those garden salsas at least. And a few of these other ones. But before we go, I thought we might take a look at some of these cuttings. And it doesn't look good. Like that one's got some sort of a fuzzy mold growing on it that doesn't seem to be showing up well in the camera. But down at the base of this, what do we got? It's ripping up the tube. Leaves falling off, no roots forming. Not a good sign. Kind of smells pretty funky too. What do we got here? This is in the fish with the bloom additive. Fish water with the bloom additive. And again, we've got that stench, so I think I have screwed up here. Those ones look terrible. Yeah, these all smell really foul, so I'm gonna have to get rid of those. How's the one in the soil? Oh, it doesn't want to open up. Alrighty then, I'll just leave it alone. That's the way it wants to be. Whew, that is nasty though. I've definitely got to dump those. Got a nice big open space where the Nepalese Bell used to be, so I'll do a little rearranging, I think. Hopefully it's going to be time to put some of these other ones into Folgers cans. Just waiting on decent root development out of them first. And I'm only going to be putting one of each variety into the Folgers can situations because those ones will be staying in the house. So I've got to pick and choose a little bit. But that's fine. Right now I've got a Crimson Red, an Ahi Penic, and a Super Chili. These are 3 pretty fabulous peppers, so it's a start. It's a start. But look at this Swiss chard in the back here. Although I guess the original plants were rainbow chard, and I overwintered a red one. So that's basically what I've got is red chards. Although, where is the other one? I have one here. It's kind of a pink. So that's kind of cool. It'll be nice to have at least 2 variations growing on that theme. Once again, I smashed the poor tomato here. But slowly but surely, things are coming along in the garden. I still need to transplant these out of the water bottles. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to put them into yet. Whether or not they're going to stay inside or be destined for outside or just what's going on there. But so much to work on, so much to fiddle about with. Always something to do. But yeah, right now, the first thing I got to do is get rid of those. Oh, yeah, those cuttings smell nasty. Whatever I did, it sure wasn't roots and pepper plants. So, back to the drawing board. But I have another timer on the way. And a timer is apparently what I needed to make that large aeroponic garden that my friend loaned me work properly. I'll show you that again. Hopefully Grimace isn't watching this. It's covered in stuff. But all of those little holes fit net cups with neoprene pucks, and down in the bottom there are misters, and there's a pretty heavy duty pump. So I tried this, geez, how long? I think he's given it to me at this point. This is like 1.5 years this thing's been here. But I tried it back, not last summer, but the summer before, outside. It didn't have a lot of light, and the pump was running 24/7. It did root a couple of my berry bush cuttings. For example, that's where I have the elderberry cutting from, is from all this. But it didn't root anything else. And he told me that's because it needs a break. So it needs to be on, off, on, off, on, off. I'm going to use a timer. I'm going to set this up. And hopefully I will be able to clone some peppers with this. Because as I mentioned earlier, my long-term goals with this basement are to kind of do with peppers what folks do with that other crop. And I'm going to grow a whole bunch of mama plants of a bunch of different varieties, and then I'll just be able to hopefully successfully root clones. And I go, okay, well, I want 12 ghosts, I want 12 Trinidad scorpions, I want 14 sand dollars, and I'll cut them, label them, and root them, right? And then if that works, I will be an incredibly happy bear, and I won't have to worry about seed starts. I won't have to worry about genetic variations. If this plant produced this pepper last year, its clone will produce that same pepper this year. And consistency, especially when you're looking long-term to market peppers, consistency is key. I absolutely need to be on top of that. So if you have any ideas as to what I may have done wrong with those cups, I know, Rev, you said I need to change the water on a regular basis, and I didn't do that. So that may have been what I did wrong with those cups. But if you have any suggestions for me, other than watching Kang's video, because I've watched it like a bazillion times, I think half the views on that video are for me trying to root peppers. It's just not working. But anyway, I could definitely use some advice on that topic. And the furnace is kicking in, so I'm going to take that as my cue. I should probably bugger off, get this edited, posted, blah, blah, blah. And I will probably catch you guys in the chat on the live stream tonight. Can't guarantee it. Been kind of busy, but I'm hoping to. So, yeah. Alright. If not, apparently now I can read the chat as I do my rewatch the next day or the next day or whenever I get around to it, because YouTube has finally decided to put that live chat stream on the side of the video as it happens with the video. So that makes the rewatch a lot more entertaining, I gotta say. So, yeah, cool. Hopefully I'll see you guys there tonight. I'll definitely see you here tomorrow. And, yeah, I hope you guys have a fabulous night.